This episode of Lawyers Tell All is brought to you by the Intake Academy. Are you ready to convert more callers to qualified cases, rapidly qualify good cases, and transform unqualified prospects to advocates for your firm, whether you're able to handle their case or not? Visit www.intakeacademy.com and discover how to cement relationships with more of your ideal clients. Get them to commit to you and send you more referrals than you ever thought possible. Welcome to the Lawyers Tell All podcast, where Chris Mullins, the preeminent sales and communications consultant in the legal industry, shows you how it looks through lawyers' eyes. Here, innovators in the trenches provide powerful insights that help you connect with new clients, handle the sometimes harsh realities of the legal profession, and embrace the mindsets needed to succeed. Be sure to visit our website at www.lawyerstellall.com. And while you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now, lean in, tune in, and let's take a deep dive.
Hello, everyone. It's Chris Mullins with Lawyers Tell All, and today I'm interviewing Jay Berkowitz, and he is going to talk about TGR Live. Jay is with 10 Golden Rules. Go ahead, Jay.
Well, thanks, Chris. Great to be here. 10 Golden Rules does internet marketing for law firms, and TGR Live will be our third conference. And we have an amazing panel of people and amazing community who participate and come out every year. So we're so thrilled you'll be one of the speakers, and it's just going to be awesome. March 10th and 11th, by the way, in Delray Beach, Florida. Hopefully you're not watching this sometime in April of 2020.
No.
You gotta come to TGR Live 2026 if it's April.
Yeah, well, don't listen to him. Just do 2025. That's what we're talking about right now, everybody. So who should go? Who should be there? Okay.
We're going to have amazing speakers, and we're not just talking about marketing. Like, we're a digital marketing company, but we've got a panel talking about the entrepreneurial operating system. We've got Greg Crabtree, who wrote the book Simple Numbers, best-selling book. He's going to talk about how to, organize your business and your law firm. We're going to talk about grassroots marketing. So we're going to be talking about, and of course, we're going to talk about intake. And we've got one of the world's leading experts. So the people who should be there should be attorneys, consumer-facing attorneys, personal injury, bankruptcy, family law. This is not a big corporate law, AmLaw 100 kind of event. And people who are trying to find customers on the internet through referrals, through, one-to-one kind of marketing. And then the marketing people should be there for sure. Or so many firms have someone who has 2 or 3 hats in their job description, like the office manager, marketing manager, and HR manager. That person should definitely be there, because we're going to be covering a lot of things they can use for the business.
I would imagine operations too, right? Operations?
Yeah. Operations, if they have a slash job, like if they're operations and marketing, or if they're operations and tracking and reporting, then it'll be great. We'll talk a lot about conversions and tracking and reporting too.
Well, you know what? You just mentioned that. So that's one of the questions. So talk about that. Let's see. The question is, how do you measure client conversion rates?
Yeah, well, client conversion, that's a great one, because so many people are still playing at the top of the funnel. And what we spend a lot of time at 10 Golden Rules is talking about actual conversion rates. So we measure where every lead comes from. And for most law firms, it's calls. And first and foremost, you want calls, because if you have a great intake trainer like Chris, you're going to probably convert 20 or 25% of those calls to signed cases. And lawyers tell us all the time, well, we convert 95% of the want.
I know they do.
And I'm talking about, like, the phone rings, you pick it up. So you're going to convert 20 or 25% of calls. Then chats are the second best. And typically you're going to convert somewhere, 10 to 15% of chats. And then form fills. And it's always hard to chase people down when they fill out the form on your website. But what you should do is you should track all those things, and you've got to measure what matters. Another great book. And what my mentor says, what you measure gets attention and improves. So you want to have a sheet every week and every month that measures all your lead sources. And then your intake team has to indicate whether or not that client was signed on board. So the percentage is the percentage of calls that are signed, the percentage of forms, and the percentage of chats.
Okay. Okay. And so would the firm also look at the number of leads that they got that they want?
Yeah,
As
absolutely.
well?
Yeah,
Ones that they
great.
want.
That's a great data point. What percentage of leads did you want? We have a great proprietary tracking system that all of the leads are in this database, and then the intake team just has to click and say, yes, it was a retained client. It's a client we want, and we're waiting on the signed retainer. It's pending. It's a case we wanted, but we didn't sign, and it's a case we didn't sign.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you have that actual system for your clients.
Yeah, it's amazing. We've been building it for years, and we finally brought it to market. So we have one nice reporting database, shows all your traffic, where it came from, what percentage converted, and it's all in one nice, easy place.
And it's for your clients, right?
Yes.
It's for your clients. Okay, that's great. And one of the areas that I don't really hear firms pay much attention to is so if you wanted X amount of leads, they were perfect, you wanted them, and you only signed maybe 50% of them or what have you. What happened to the rest of them? Where are they? And I'm surprised that a lot of firms, they don't really drill down to where are they? Specifically, like, where are they? Where did they go? Who touched it? Did you touch it? So what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, well, I'm sure you like me, it makes my heart sore when I hear, oh yeah, we called them back and they didn't call us. It's like, wait a minute, you got a lead and you didn't, chase them down with some aggression. There's a lot of people call it 3, 3, and 3, 3 calls, 3 texts, 3 emails. At the very least, you got to call someone, then text them and say, hey, I just called you from, Berkowitz and Mullins law firm, and I look forward to speaking to you about your case. Because none of us pick up those calls the first time you get an an unrecognized phone number. So you've got to call them, text them, email them, 333, at a minimum for like a week, and then maybe go 222 and then go 111. Like, when you get a lead, you should follow up with those folks until as such a time as you connect with them or they tell you, hey, I've hired a lawyer.
Like every day.
Every day, like 333 for 7 days, 222 for 7 days, 111 for 7 days. I mean, there's a lot of people have a lot of points on that. And at a minimum, you've really got to have an outbound team that follows up on those leads until you find out that you can't help those folks.
Right. Like Dan Kennedy says, kind of like you said it too, is like until they either die or they just tell you, don't ever call me again.
Yeah.
That's the way he puts it, but why not? Yeah.
And, a lot of times they'll start out with another attorney. And so they're not returning your calls, but, then that attorney doesn't get back to them and they're not happy. So until they say, no, I'm signed, sealed, and delivered and happy with my attorney, there's still a prospect at some level.
Right. Let me just ask you one other question about that chase process. Do you folks have a recommendation to your clients about, I know you just said the 333, but do you say at least do it for 30 days or 60 days? Do you say anything like that to your clients?
I mean, I've been using that, 333 for a week, 222 for a week, 111 for a week, but I would keep going,
why not?
Yeah. And, it's rare, but you hear the story where you get a client 6 months after the initial lead.
Right. Exactly. Okay. So let's just see. Your other question is, okay, here's one. How do you get clients to the top of Google?
Well, that's the $1 million question.
I know it is.
But, the simple answer today is you've got to get approved and screened in the Google Screen Local Service Ad program, because those ads don't always show all 100%, but, I'd say 70 or 80% of the time now when somebody searches for, car accident lawyer near me, family attorney, almost 70 or 80% of the time, Google's now showing these LSAs, people call them, or Google screened with the green check mark. So you've got to get your check mark. You've got to get approved by Google, and your law firm should be appearing in those local service ads because, there's no other way I or any other agency can get you to the top of Google, because the top of Google now is these local service ads. And I love the program because it's a paid per call or pay per lead program. So it's not like the old paid per click where people click and they go to your website. You only pay when you get a lead, and 90% of the time these are good leads. Like if it's someone trying to sell you something, Google's not going to charge you.
Right.
So we love that program. It's right at the top of Google. You got a check mark from Google saying you've been screened or approved. And not everybody knows exactly what that means, but this program's been around for 6 or 7 years for plumbers, air conditioning, home service companies. And so now it's been available for a couple of years for lawyers and accountants in real estate. And it's called Google Screen. So they know there's some kind of vetting process by Google. So you're at the top of Google, you get a phone call, you only pay for leads, and you've got that sort of verification check mark.
Okay. And so one of the things that we talk a lot to clients about is speed to lead. So also with the Google that you were just talking about, that matters, right? If getting right to that lead, or like Google pays attention, right?
Yeah, that's a great point. There's absolutely no excuse now for not answering the phone, and not answering the phone quickly, and not answering the phone every single time. Because with this program, Google's tracking how long it takes you to answer the phone, and 15 seconds is an absolute must. So 2 or 3 rings, you got to pick up the phone. And Google's tracking missed calls, and you can see it in the dashboard. And guess what? If you miss too many calls or you put people on hold, or there's not that self-rewarding program. If you answer the phone quickly, you're going to get more leads. And if you answer the phone more quickly, Google's going to put you higher in the algorithm. You're going to show up more times at the top of the page.
Yeah, so they're rewarding you. They're kind of like it could be kind of like Chris Mullins' little assistants, because they're saying the same things that I'm saying, but they're right up there. Hey, you got to do this, right? That's really, I mean, I always knew that, but when we're talking about right now, I'm going, wait a minute. So yeah, and
no one at Google's ever confirmed this for me, but Jay's theory, having tried to figure out Google for over 20 years now, is that whenever Google introduces something in the algorithm, they generally will add it to the other parts of Google. So what I'm saying is they've told us explicitly, like we've been told by our Google rep, that they do track, and it does affect the algorithm if you answer the phone quickly and if you don't have missed calls, right? So now we know it's for sure in the Google Screened LSA program. Yeah. But Jay's theory is that they're also tracking that, and they're also weighing in the algorithm for Google Maps and Google SEO and Google pay-per-click. So what I've seen over the years is when Google writes something into the algorithm, when they write the code to measure how many missed calls you have, and that rewards you and gets you shown more frequently, measures how quickly you answer the phone, that gets you shown more frequently. They're going to use that same code in Google Maps and general SEO, because essentially Google wants the Google customer, to get a good experience. If they show a law firm at the top of the search and you call that law firm, they want the law firm to pick up, because they want Google to deliver a successful result to the consumer. And so my theory is that you've got to make sure that you're answering the phone, not only for the local service ads, for maps, for SEO, and for PPC.
And doesn't it also say, when the prospect, I'm looking at the ads, doesn't it say like this firm answers the phone X amount of times and that kind of thing? Yeah,
great point.
Tell me talk about that a little bit.
So typically, we're not seeing that very often at the very top of the Google search. So generally there's only 2 results on a desktop and 3 results on a mobile phone. But when you click through to see more lawyers, then they have typically responds in minutes, typically responds in hours, typically responds within 24 hours. Well, who are you going to click on?
Come on. Really?
And so that there's 2 factors to that. Like what we've been talking about, Google's measuring your time to response. Right. And obviously you've got to respond quickly to get shown more frequently. And, obviously people are going to click on the person who responds within minutes, not the person who responds within days.
Yeah. It's really like, I don't know. Are there any other kinds of marketing models out there that are as good as that?
It's certainly the top of the food chain now for lawyers. And here's a pro tip, by the way. There's a couple softwares that can help you with that. And one thing is we've talked mostly about the phone call aspect to the Google Screen, Google LSAs, but they also have a messaging option. And a lot of people don't want to pick up the phone. And so having the messaging option, like I always say, what if someone's doing the research while they're standing in line at the bank? They're not going to call up the lawyer and talk to the lawyer. But if you have messaging, and also the younger consumers, like, a lot of those kids, right? They're much happier to just text someone. They don't want to talk to anyone. They do business by texting. So we encourage our customers to show the message lead option in the LSAs. And when you do include the message lead option, you get more leads overall. But here's the secret addition to that. Yeah. There's a couple of software companies, lead management companies that help you get that typically responds in minutes. The first one is Juvo Leads.
I know Juvo, yeah.
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 Betancourt. And they'll jump on those leads within seconds and reply for you. And the other one is Intaker, that uses an AI software to respond to those leads in seconds. So if you have, and you should have chat, by the way, on your website. Both of those are chat companies. And that's the little chat box that pops up on your website. And for the same reason I explained a minute ago, some people are just never going to call you, no matter what. Like they're in line at the bank, their kids are homeschooling, or they're at work, they're doing research for their aunt's car accident, and they're just never going to call you, but they will chat with you. They will message you. And the second thing is, if it's your aunt's accident, they're not going to fill out the form on your website because they're not giving you their name. They don't want the spam. It's not even their case, right? Like they're doing research for their aunt who was the one in the accident. So that's where chat fills this void. And so you should always have chat on your website, because we've seen it time and time again when a client comes on board with 10 golden rules and we're doing their marketing. Well, the first thing is I have this whole conversation with them. I convince them, and a lot of times they say, I never use chat. Well, guess what? I'm going to improve your leads 20 or 30%. If we don't do anything, if we just, maintain status quo with your SEO and your LSA leads, I'm going to improve your performance 20 or 30%. And every time and time again, we see that data play out. Sometimes it's 10 or 15%, but, adding chat adds that option where the person's not going to fill out a form. They're not going to call.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, now wait a second. A few great things just came to my head. So how long do you tell your clients it takes before you lose a lead on chat? Like, you gotta take care of it. However you do it, like 2 minutes, right? 2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen leads seriously degrade after 5 minutes, but obviously they degrade every minute that you wait, because we all just consume basic human nature, right? If you're looking to talk to a lawyer and you fill out a form or you fill out a chat and they don't get back to you, what are you going to do? You're going to hit the back button, go back to the Google search. You're going to pick the next guy or gal who looks like they know what they're talking about, and you're going to message them or call them. So every minute you're losing opportunity if you don't get back to people, either through leads or on the phone. We even developed a product called TGR Boomerang. Short for 10.
Why not? Yeah, right. Okay.
And it's like, actually I have the boomerang up here, my yellow, it's in the Australian toy. You throw it out and it comes back. So if you miss a phone call, our boomerang software tracks that, because we see the call coming through Google software, and we immediately text your intake team or whoever you give us. Like, we can text multiple people. Immediately text them, you got a call. It came through as Chris. Here's her phone number. Like, because Google, 9 times out of 10, Google's got the number that called, and you can just click on the cell phone and call them right back. If someone fills out a form on your website, TGR Boomerang, because that's all electronic. We've got the form, text the intake team. So we're trying to help our clients not miss, minutes are critical in following up on those leads.
They are. Okay, so now you're making me crazy now, Jay, because I got all these things going in my, you're making me a little crazy. Okay, so that boomerang there, but you know what? Your software that you're talking about, I mean, there's a lot of reasons to go with 10 golden rules, but that software alone sounds like a reason to go with 10 golden rules, because there's other intake programs out there. And yeah, I think I would like to see law firms try something else. And it just sounds like a reason that they would go to you.
Yeah, over the years, and we've been at this for 20 years, and we keep trying to improve the products to meet need. And we want our programs to succeed. So like, for example, the customer gets a form fill, and in the old days that would go to an email box. And sometimes people don't check their email box for 3 or 4 hours. I'll give you the worst ever case of this.
Yes.
I got hired by a big firm in New York, and they said, "Hey, we spent $15,000 on our pay-per-click. We didn't get a single lead." So the next month we told the agency, increase it to $25,000. We didn't get a single lead. So we're in our first meeting, and I said, I just want to check with you guys because I did a test. I filled out the form on your website and nobody called me back. I just want to make sure they didn't call me because I'm your agency, right? And they, I hear this mumbling. Well, who gets the forms? Carol gets the forms. Where's Carol? Oh, she's on maternity leave. So that was the worst example.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
$1,000 in pay-per-click was sitting in Carol's inbox, and Carol was on maternity leave. Now, this was an old example. Like today, a lot of those calls are going to come to a switchboard. They're going to come to intake. But the same thing rings true. So if you're not immediately getting alerts when you get those form fills, if you miss a call, when you get a message lead, you either using a software like a Juvo or an intaker to immediately respond to the customer. Hey, got your message. Attorney's available to talk to you. Tell me a little bit about your case. Like they start immediately interacting with the person on text, or you immediately call them back through TGR Boomerang. We developed these solutions to meet a need.
Right. Okay. So I got to ask you then. So we're talking about this whole thing here, speech lead and all of that, and boomerangs, and we keep saying human. Let's talk about AI for a second, because I'm pretty darn sure like we work on different things with AI too, and but I'm pretty sure that an AI attendant would, like within seconds, never mind minutes, take care of everything that we're talking about.
Yeah. Intaker has AI built into the software. Another AI that we really love is Case Status. And Andy Sievers, the founder of Case Status, is going to be speaking at TGR Live. And Supio, which is another law firm AI, is going to be speaking at TGR Live, March 10th and 11th, Delray Beach, Florida. Just go to 10 Golden Rules for more information. But so there's a ton of AI that we're incorporating into what we do. We're still doing most of our copywriting using humans, but we're utilizing a lot of AI for research and for products like TGR Boomerang and of course Intaker that we're recommending to our clients. So AI, the most important thing I believe with AI is you got to start some kind of testing and experimentation. Yeah. And I think the biggest mistake we make as companies when new technology comes along, you can't wait too long to get into some beta programs. And so you definitely have to, identify like a team in your company and say, okay, maybe a couple of the young people or the IT director, hey, you guys, I want you to come back to me with, within the first quarter, two beta AI products we're going to test, one for operations and one for lawyering, and so that's what we do at 10 Golden Rules internally. We introduce one new product every quarter, and our research and development team, it's either like a consumer facing product, like when we bought Boomerang to market, or we have another one called our VIP referral and review boxes, or experimenting with Intaker. The first time we used it, I put it on my site. Worked great. Then we figured out how to do it, questions we need to answer. Then we did it for a couple of client sites. So I would encourage you to, assign it to someone or a small team of people that is your R&D team. Make a commitment that, either one quarter or one month, you're going to test product. And then if it works, obviously you're going to roll it out. Like what we do is like with Intaker, we did 10 Golden Rules. We rolled it to 3 or 4 clients. Then we rolled it to 10 or 15 clients. Now we recommend intake or Juvo leads to all of our new clients.
Yeah. And I'll just throw in one thing, everybody. Please don't go like just firing your whole intake team. You need to do exactly what Jay's saying. The way he's saying, there's definitely a place for AI. I totally support it. But take Jay's advice, follow it that way, and don't just go firing people and pulling the plugs. Don't do that. That would be crazy for your firm and for all those people, right? Right?
Exactly. Just get the testing on the calendar and then calendarize it. That's a great way to go.
Yeah. Okay. Did we get everything, Jay, that you wanted me to touch on?
Yeah, it sounds good. I mean, I could wrap up with a couple more features of TGR Live, and that's why we wanted to do this today. A couple of the other components that are really great about TGR Live is we really encourage a lot of interaction and a lot of brainstorming. So we'll do a number of exercises. Like you'll see a great presenter like Mike Morris, who has a $200 million law firm in Michigan and is one of the first EOS clients. He's going to talk about his book, Fireproof, about fireproofing your law firm. And then we'll do a little brainstorming session where I ask everyone to capture what they learned and what they're going to put in action. And at the end of the day, we're going to talk about all the things you learned from all these great experts and how you're going to put it in action. We're going to do a lot of interactive work because so many times you go to conferences, you take your notes, and then they're sitting in your notebook a year later when you go to the conference. But we're going to make sure that doesn't happen. We're going to develop a plan for executing the stuff we learned and a commitment and some, responsibility buddies. So we're going to make sure that, yeah, and it's tons of fun. And then, we're going to have a couple networking exercises. As a matter of fact, we're going to be hosting the second annual TGR RPS International World Challenge. Do you know what that is, Chris?
No, go ahead.
It's the World Rock, Paper, Scissors Championships. And last year we crowned the first champion. And what we do is we go around the room and everybody does a rock, paper, scissors. And then if you win, you keep going and you challenge someone else. But if you lose, you now have to cheer for the person that you lost to. And by the end of it, we end up with the whole room cheering for the two finalists. And we have a big trophy for the world champion rock, paper, scissors. And it sounds like a little bit of fun, but it's just to get the energy in the room, get everyone to meet some people, get everyone interacting. And we make sure, by the end of the event, you're going to have met 50 or 75 referral partners or vendors who can help you with your business.
Right. And networking colleagues that can help you when you're in the middle of a problem or something like that. It sounds like your focus is consumption and implementation. That sounds like what you're focused.
And having a little bit of fun. And I don't want anyone to feel like they're, the fly on the wall and, hey, my boss made me go to this conference. Because I've been to so many conferences and they're cliquey and like everybody's talking to everybody at the cocktail party or the lunch or the breakfast. And you feel so awkward breaking into those conversations.
Yeah.
We're going to make sure that we break down those barriers. You're going to meet 4 or 5 buddies in the first morning and you're going to have a great time. And that's one of the things that really brought our conference to life the last couple of years. And we're going to do it even better this year.
Awesome. Well, I will be there, everybody. I will be on the intake panel and so many other wonderful speakers will be there. And any last words, Jay?
No, just please go to 10goldenrules.com. If we can help you with your marketing, if you have any questions about any of the things we talked about today, not obviously, but the first call is free. So be happy to book a meeting with you and just go to 10goldenrules.com and test out my intaker chat because they'll book a meeting for us. And if you'd like to come to the conference, there's a link right at the top to TGR Live Growth Strategies for Law Firms, and you can get all the information about this event. And by the way, beautiful Opal Grand Hotel is awesome. It's right on the beach at Delray Beach.
Wow.
And this is prime time. Like from now until the end of March is the beautiful weather here in South Florida. All the jet setters are down in West Palm Beach, right? And Palm Beach. And so Delray Beach is just 15 minutes from Palm Beach. Like this is the perfect time of year to be down here. And we're in between Miami and Palm Beach is where Delray Beach is located.
Awesome. Wonderful. Thank you so much. All right, everyone. Chris Mullins with Lawyers Tell All, and we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to Lawyers Tell All. where Chris Mullins takes you on a journey with lawyers in the trenches who show you the realities of what it takes to succeed in this chaotic, crowded, ever-changing profession. Remember to visit our website at www.lawyerstellall.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on Lawyers Tell All.